host, Brandon Groce, and I want to welcome you to Real Talk, brought to you by Editor X, the world's most powerful no-code web design platform for designers and creatives alike. Real Talk is a live show where we share with you exciting design, news, trends, career advice, and conversations with thought leaders in the space, entrepreneurs, agency owners, and more around no-code, UI, UX, product design, and the marketing spaces, and on top of that, so much more. If that sounds right up your alley, do not forget to subscribe and hit the bell notification so you can come back each week to get your daily and weekly dose of information. And also, if you feel so inclined, don't forget to like this video. It helps tremendously. So with that said, let's jump into today's conversation. Howdy doody everyone, welcome, happy Friday. Today, as you guys know, we have the wonderful Jaslin Tonton as our beloved guest today. We are doing portfolio reviews, and as you guys notice, I don't have my tie today. We've been running at the speed of our pants, which they don't run unless our legs are in them. So again, it's Friday. We're keeping it short, but the awesome piece of this is that a lot of you guys, I think 60 of you, ended up filling our survey for our community feedback, which is awesome. So stay tuned. If you are watching the portfolio feedback stuff today, you might learn something, but watch to the end, because all 60 of you guys who opted in or really just gave us all that feedback for the community, one amazing winner will win a $100 Amazon gift card. So other than that, stay tuned towards the end. But with that being said, let me bring to the stage Jaslin Tonton, who we need to bring his spirits up, guys. Okay, just a little bit. I know that we have a few people here, but the 400 who are watching afterwards, like, directly message on LinkedIn, specifically my man Jaslin Tonton, happy Friday, okay? All right, what's going on, Jason?
I need it. I had a bad round of golf this morning, so it really ruined my day. So,
oh my God!
I woke up early. It's a Friday. I went to bed late, like 2 in the morning. I woke up at 5:30 just so I can drive and go play, and I just did. Oh, it was bad, man. Like, I had to throw away the scorecard at the end.
Samantha says, "Did you run out of La Croix?" Maybe that's.
Honestly, like I needed some. I didn't bring any La Croix with me. Like, so why am I like all the way on one side of the screen? Like, I don't know what's going on.
Everything, guys. It's one of these Fridays. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna try to hype this up, but you know, it's a Friday. I hope you guys are doing well. Things are happening. I think I'm also askew in my studio. But listen, I think the reason why Tonton wants to be off kilter in his video is because look what's center. That golf club. One difference. He's trying. This is, what is it? I was about to call it cliffhanging. This is the foreshadowing that he's going to have some awesome golf swings later today. But really quick, ladies and gentlemen, I want to say hi to you guys in the chat. We have Sam, Jaywalk, what's happening? Line, hello, Alana, Anna. Good to have you guys here. But all right, we've had our fun and games. We have 3 portfolio reviews to jump into today. I know Sam is one and a few others. So let's hop in, and then we can get strictly to the winner of our, what's it called? But we also, since we have time, Jason has, short time today because he's also a busy man. But I will be here to answer your questions, and also we have the survey winner at the end of this. So, Jason, we want to hop into the, do you have a portfolio already pulled up? I'll switch to your screen.
Yeah.
You tell me, sir.
I do. And it's actually Samantha, so it should be fun. Like,
all right, let's do
it. Hopefully, like, my bad game does not affect my judgment in terms of, the design. Like,
it will be great.
Yeah, like, no, it's gonna be awesome. Okay, so we can. Oh no, I went too far. We can take our time, like, and really just the advantage of only having like a few is that we don't have to rush. Although I do have a hard stop, so I will rush a bit. And if you see me looking to the left, it's honestly just like
those Slack messages haunting you. Bing, 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 bing.
I just need to put myself away real quick so that no one's pinging me. Okay. Yeah, like again, I'm gonna start by saying, like, there's nothing wrong with building a portfolio in Notion. I've done it. I've actually I think I might have showed it multiple times, like, that like I call it a portfolio in Notion, and it has landed me jobs. Like, because at the end of the day, like, all the fancy stuff like are nice to have, but they're not needed. All you really need to get the job is anywhere you can just display some work and just have them ready. You should still follow the same thing we talk about every time we get on one of those calls. Make it easy to read. Keep it consistent in terms of like one page to the other, like in terms of one project rather to the other. Little things like that. As long as you can apply those, like where you build it, doesn't really matter. All right, now let's dive into it. All right, latest work. Oh, that's actually not. Oh, I gotta click below. So one thing I would say right off the bat, like just looking at this, like if it's a work in progress or it's coming soon, if you're sending this to an actual job interview, I would say remove them, just because you don't want to have anything in there that, like, people don't read, people moving quick, they don't have a lot of time to figure out what's work in progress, what's coming soon. If it's not done, don't put it, and if it's coming soon, don't put it. Just focus on your best work and just let those shine. Remove anything it's like work in progress, coming soon, or anything like that. So that would be my one feedback looking at this from the outside in. I'm gonna click on the first one. I'm gonna actually take my time today and read the content, just because we don't have a whole lot of portfolio to get to. So, which is, I rarely do that. Like when I'm reviewing portfolio, whether it's for this or actual, like, portfolio, I rarely read like the stuff. I just want to get to the important things. So, but today I'm actually going to take some time and read through some of this copy. I say that now. I might change my mind halfway through. Um, like that's a lot of copy, like, which I think, like I understand, like, like from a UX perspective, trying to really give a good understanding of what you're building and things like that. So the only thing I'm missing, like right now as I'm scrolling to this, like I understand what the app is. Like I just needed a little bit more visual. Like on the top, like whatever you have, like that's your best piece, bring it up front, so that way you can kind of like keep people going and want to scroll more, right? Because if they don't read, you at least want to give them a chance to showcase some of your skills. Granted, if your focus is more on the UX side of things, which I think it might be for this, just like a quickness looking at this and the breakdown and how you're doing, it might just be more UX focused. But if you do have some visual, that always helps. Um, like, because there's this, I think it's African or proverb that says, beauty is a good letter of introduction. So in design, it kind of still applies. Like, if you have anything that's more visual, just showing that, just going to grab people's attention, right? Like, before all these copy. Um, Yeah, so I think my feedbacks is pretty much what I've mentioned in the beginning. Like, I wish, like, whichever one is the final product, I wish, like, because sometimes, like, we're thinking like, oh, we just really want to explain everything before we do this final reveal. But the unfortunate thing is, like, people that are reviewing this, they don't have the time for that final reveal. So you want to just be like, here's everything I have to offer. Now here's the breakdown of it, right? Like, so just really just start with that strong piece. So that way, as I scroll down and as I'm like finding, I'm like, oh, now I understand why you did that, right? So just if you have that, I would say definitely start with like, you know, the stronger piece. Because as I'm scrolling and I'm not reading, right? Like I'm going to this, I'm like, wait, is this the one you did? Like, and then as I'm going further down, I'm like, okay, is this like, because I've seen this, I'm like, is it from it's coming from here, going through here? Again, you probably thinking to yourself like, well, obviously I have all this copy here to tell you what this is, but again, we don't read. Well, I speak for myself. People don't. I don't typically spend a lot of time reading when I see that much copy, right? So another feedback I would say, like, if you can break these, like, even though like you do have a lot of copy, if you don't want to get rid of it, which is fine. Like I would say, break it into like at least 2 paragraphs. Like what this period is, I would just break that into a separate paragraph, like, and just put some space, so it makes it a little bit easier to scan, right? So you have like this one, and then you break that one to a second one, and then it just makes it a little bit easier to scan. But overall feedback would be like, you know, I think like just move like some of the stronger pieces, which I think these are like some of your stronger pieces in here, like move those a little bit further on top, like so you can really just know what to expect, and then start breaking it down. I would still suggest going back and really just take a look at the copy again and see if there's anything that you absolutely don't need, then get rid of it. If you can shorten in places, shorten it, so that will give more, like, you know, that will make it a little bit easier to actually sit and take in all this copy and read to everything. But yeah, overall, like, you know, I think you have some really strong starts. It just needs some finding, like finessing.
To add to that, I think this is, I mean, we always have like this discussion where it's just like, do how much is enough and how much is too little. And it's a very difficult dance. I think you have everything in here that you need, but then it's like, it's what we talked about, like where you were before, where you are today, way better. In terms of, you know, where you showed me, or where you are in the process. The portfolio stuff, it never ends in terms of like the refining 100%. Of it. So you're much better off than where you were last time. And really, congratulations on that. I think the next step is what Tonton is saying, is how do you design the amount of text content that you have to make it even more easy for somebody to understand what is a before, what is an after, and in how many...
That's my kids. All right. I have kids, man. They decided it's a screaming kind of day.
Wait, I have to say something. Do you know that I'll have to put it in the community or chat or send it to you, but do you know the Ronald McDonald where it's just like and he slaps somebody with like a pie or something? It's like, you know what I'm talking about? That's literally what it reminded me of. That was wonderful. And I lost my train of thought. But basically designing and I call it designing because that's what you have to do. Instead of like text blocks, what are the limited amount of words that you can use to have somebody understand what you're trying to convey? So I think that would be the next step for you as well. Because one of the things I do agree with you is that there obviously is some before and after stuff going on here, but I can't really tell what is before, what is after, and it's happening multiple times.
And you know, and I know we typically don't do that, but because again there's only like 3 of you all today, so I just really want to spend a little bit more time, right? Like so I typically don't try to give this design feedback in the piece itself, so I try to keep it in the portfolio. But looking at this, and I just feel like there's just a couple areas that are like, overall I think you have a really good sense of design in the usage of colors, and like, you know, I struggle with colors, right? I'm not really good with colors, but I think there's just a few things in here, like overall, that I would say pay attention to, that if I see, like, you know, if I'm reviewing a portfolio, whether it's for a UX designer, whether it's for a UI designer, like I see things like that, like it's gonna stand out to me. Like the photo in here is stretched, right? Like it's skewed a little bit, right? So it's like right off the bat, my eyes go straight to that, and that's doing you a disservice because the work itself is like it, even though it might be strong, like, but like little things like that, like that's where our eyes goes, right? So I would say pay attention to little things like that. There's a tool, I don't know if you're using Sketch or Figma, but another one I would say, like, pay attention to, like, like like your colors, like for things like this where you have like this really light, not a white, it's more like an off-white on top of that gray. That's not going to be legible. So there's a tool called Stark, and there's some other different one, like contrast tool. Like I would say, use those to make sure that you're at least passing AA, because if they're not legible, then you're doing yourself a disservice, right? And we have to think of people that has disability, that lower vision, and things like that, right? And another thing too, again, I know we typically don't do that, but like give yourself room for things to breathe. So in here where you have the four, you have the books read, and then you put that on a white background, which is a box, and it's so tight to the box, and then because of that, then now you have like so many little rectangles being created, which just create a lot of visual tension, because you have a rectangle and then you put book read inside of another rectangle, and then this is in another rectangle, and to take it a step further, you're looking at this thing in a rectangle because your computer monitor is a square. Like, so like little things like that. Like if you just take out that white box and then you just make this text a little bit a color that's more legible, or break it into two lines, like that's gonna make everything breathe a little bit better and feel a little bit better. But yeah, again, I think there's just a couple of things, but it can be like you can improve on those things and you can get better. So there's definitely, it's there. We just need a little bit more guidance. I think that would be the best way to put it. But overall, good stuff. Good stuff. All right, that's all I got, Brendan. Great job.
All right. Good job, Sam. And what was I going to say? Yeah, plugins for the win on the color side of things. Obviously, I think, well, I shouldn't say obviously because it wasn't obvious to me, but plugins with colors, very helpful in understanding where they are in terms of your accessibility, and if it's 1A, no A, double A, triple A, what kind of batteries you need, essentially.
Yeah, I would say, like, and it's something I struggle to myself, like, always aim for double A, like, because it's easy to say, well, I'm not designing an app for people with, like, with lower vision, or I'm not designing an app for people that are colorblind, but the amount of people that are colorblind and have lower vision, like, it's really high, and it's always better to be in the safe side. Like, I'm not great with colors, but there are a lot of tools out there that can really help you. And I think you're a lot better with colors, right? Because even though you have a lot of colors, they're all kind of match. They all complement each other, and they're not fighting. If I try to do that, it would be like carnival. Like, it would look disastrous, right? But I think you have that. It just needs that little refinement, right? And then just, if you take one thing out of this, like, let things breathe, right? Like, and I know this is like a trademark of mine. I always say this, like, let your design breathe. Like, and it really is important. Like, the more like room for things to breathe, the more they can stand on its own, and the better the design will look overall. But yeah, that's it. So I'm gonna go to I feel like I've seen this before.
Ethan G. Oh, yeah. Hey, he's back. All right.
Yeah,
he made
right? Yeah, I'm like, I've seen this before. Like, I'm excited to see where it went. So, all right. So, energy tracking app. Awesome.
Oh, he's definitely added that.
Yeah, I'm gonna click that big green button, which now I realize no one can see it because I'm only sharing one screen, because it's Friday. But
he has the button. That's what matters.
The button. It has the button, but no one can
is there.
So I'm just gonna actually just stay in this one. Yeah, like, so again, this is what I was talking about, right? Like, the little tension, right? Like, this to me, like this again, I'm nitpicking here, but better be me nitpicking doing a design review than an actual creative, like not an actual, I mean, like a creative director, like hiring manager, right? Like actually going and looking at your work, like so things to pay attention, right? Like when you're designing this, like your portfolio, it's not just the pieces that you put in there, but the actual portfolio itself is also being judged, right? So like this being so close, like you have this white box that's so close to the design, like it's just like you have like so much room on top, and then it's just so tight over here. Like I would say, like if you need more space, like bring this up a little bit and just create the same amount of distance between the top and bottom, and this just gonna sit better. It's just gonna feel better. It's just going to breathe a little bit more. And then same thing in here. I would say like again, like that's a lot of really good stuff you have in there, but it's hard to take them in. You don't need to show everything up front. Just pick one or two of your best and just make them really big, and then just blow them out and just let them shine, which you do in here, like on the mock-up, right? But so if you, again, since you're doing it here, that's probably fine. Like if you don't want to go that route again, just put more space in and just leave this as is. But yeah, so because you're doing it here in the mock-up. Yeah, like I'm gonna talk about accessibility a lot, like not just because it's Accessibility Awareness Month. I think it's in May. So like so that's in my head because a lot of the work that I've been working on all have to do with that. So it's like I'm reflecting a little bit on the stuff that I've been working on. So again, I would 100% suggest getting an app, like, because that dark black on that dark green background, like it might work for the bigger type, but it gets really, really hard when you go on the lighter type. I would check again with the yellow too. Like, here you probably can get away with it. I think that's probably past AA, and that's really all you need. But just check on that. I like this. Again, bullet point numbers, whatever you do, make it easy for me to just be like, okay, like, overall goal, easy to navigate, gamification, fit seamlessly, and then teach users. Like you said, I don't even need to read the rest. I know exactly what to expect. So yeah, let's get to it. I mean, Brendan and I, we always go back and forth in this, where I feel slightly strongly about not having block frame and wireframe. Brendan thinks sometimes you need it. So this is purely subjective, so I'm not even going to touch on it today. I'm not ready for a fight, Brendan. It's Friday. Yeah, and I'm like, I'm remembering this from where we saw it last time. Like, this has improved like so much, Ethan. Like, so I want you to, like, sometime, like, just in design, in golf, like, there was gonna be tying it up to that, right? What we don't always
as in golf,
right? God. What we don't always do, like, we don't take our wins, right? Like, we focus so much on like the stuff that we didn't do well, but we don't focus on the stuff that we did well. Like, there was that one hole I did really well. Like, I could be focusing on that, but instead I focus on out of 18, I did one good. So, that's not. But so I just want you to think, like, to be really proud of this stuff, Ethan, because I remember, like, last time I saw this, and I remember the feedback that we're giving you, and I remember you, and then I'm looking at this, I'm like, I know that you took that feedback in, and then you went further and then really just improved this. Like, it's so much better from the last time we saw it. So I just wanted to say that, like, like these type of wins are important, right? So, but yeah, overall, this is looking really, really nice. And I think, like, I have some feedback, like, if we in the design themselves, like, I think there's still some room for improvement in the design themselves, but overall the portfolio page, the case study page, which is our focus today, is feeling really, really nice. I still think there's a couple areas here and there, like, that maybe you could tighten up. Like this might be purely subjective. Brendan might feel very differently about this. Well, I'm not feeling this floating things. I'm not sure they adding anything. If you're gonna do the mock-up, keep them all on the mock-up. Like, I'm not sure this floating type is adding anything for me. But again, I'm going with this with the mindset of, like, okay, like, again, I would say maybe trim down again. Like, it feel like we always repeating this, but like there's a reason for it. Like I would say maybe trim. Man, my kid's being loud today. I would say like maybe trim. It's so bad. I have no idea. I don't no idea why they're screaming for no reason. They just start screaming. Like it's a Friday. You know what can I say? Part of being a parent, right? So, but yeah, I think like I like again, you could trim down on some of the copy, like, but overall, like, and this is looking so much better than last I saw. Yeah, really great job, Ethan. Like, it's like, I don't want to keep beating a dead horse, but like the improvement, like you really can see that you are growing in your design skill, you are getting better, and this is what I love to see, man. This is great. Like I don't, yeah, yeah, I'm gonna stop there. I'm like, this is looking really nice. Like, there's definitely room for improvement. There's a couple area like we can talk about, but overall, I like what I'm seeing.
Yeah, the condensing of your content much better. I think for me, the only things I would say is just how you're focusing on your design stuff, design for your projects. I would say focus and work on some of the design elements for the case study. So how you're, doing spacing in between your bullet points, how you're indenting things, how you're, what's it called? Even in the initial header space, if you scroll all the way back up, the aligning of after home energy, consumption app. Like under that, I can't actually read it. Let me go to your site.
Yeah, that's that's a good point too. Yeah.
Oh, I see. All right. So making sure like all the featuring ChatGPT and OpenAI, the paragraph underneath that, and then the button that sends people to see the application, making sure like all that stuff is aligned. And I'm actually featuring ChatGPT and OpenAI. I'm actually I don't know what that has to do with the home energy consumption app. But I'm going to share my screen really quick.
Yeah,
and I can kind of point to, things.
I think for me, like overall, like I wasn't trying to get too deep into this because.
Oh, true.
Yeah, like that was.
Sorry,
but I think there's definitely some hierarchy. That's why I was saying, like, there's some hierarchy we can work on, but I just wanted to make sure, like, sometimes we focus so much on like what's not working. So I'm trying to do a little bit different today, right? Because I've seen this before and I know what's working now and I've seen what's working. So I just wanted to make sure that, Ethan, you feel the win and know this is a win. I'm gonna let Brendan nitpick, but that's a good thing, right? If we're nitpicking things, because there's a lot of good things that we're not focusing on. So I do think there's some hierarchy stuff we could talk about, like the front size of this one versus the subheader. Like, but these are like, to me, like these are like little things that we can work on to get it to like feeling really good. But overall, like I just want you to feel like like it's a win in my book.
The huge improvement.
Yeah, go ahead, Brendan.
And yeah, so all of this, I would either have it, if you're going to center this stuff where this is centered, and then this is kind of, this is diagonal. If you're going to center all of it. If you're going to left align it, left aligned everything, and have it aligned to each other. The little arrow thing that I think you had here, I think you could totally do without that. And I like how you're bullet pointing things. To me, that just makes my life a lot easier. You can feel free to bullet point or bold the top line of your bullet points. It helps scannability. Just like you have, these are a lot larger, and then you can go into the statements within that. If you're doing a bullet pointed list, doing those things here would also be beneficial. That's basically all the nitpicking that I want to do. It just helps with the scannability. But really good. I was going to use the wrong word, but you've slimmed down how much text you have compared to last time. I would just say now think about designing your case study. stuff, like the spacing, how good is the readability, the scannability, and also just making sure are things aligned. That's it. That's all I wanted to add.
Yeah, no, that's and these are good points. And to add to that, like I think a simple rules that I always try to do is like in design, when you're designing that page, make sure everything is aligned to something, right? Like kind of like that hero section, right? Like the home energy is aligned to your logo, but then the click here to see the new app is completely on its own, and then the body copy is on its own. So like these little small things, like make sure, like for now I would say just make sure everything is aligned to something, so nothing is feels random. But again, overall, like like great improvement. So I'm gonna move on to okay, so am I sharing my screen, Brendan? Oh no, I lost
Yes,
Brendan.
you are. Sorry, you
Okay,
are good to go. I
all right.
I was talking and didn't realize my microphone was off. You're good.
Okay, I was like, your camera's off, your mic is off. I lost Brendan. Like, what is going on?
No, I was
Um,
typing, slapping my keyboard. So
that's what we do. Okay. I'm gonna go with the first one. So right off the bat, I would say like this is kind of like what we were talking about, right? Like just having an idea of what to expect, right? Like so you have like this screen. Um, this is the case where I would say maybe simplify it down a little bit. Stick with the two Mac, iMac thingy looking versus the three. Like, but this is just a personal preference thing. So again, take it with a grain of salt. Do what feels right to you. But like I would say, like for me, like if I would just like always think of like way to simplify your portfolio, right? Like one of Jacques, some French dude, says a great designer knows his work is done when there's nothing else to add, but when there's nothing else to remove from it, right? So I live by that. I think it's Jacques Jean. I can't ever remember his name. Jacques Lacroix. Um, but like jokes aside, but so I would say like like I think this is strong, but could it be stronger if you simplify it? It's like less can be more. Um, I was thinking of an example, but it's probably not appropriate, so I'm gonna move on. Um, so, oh, nice little jump blank. I always like these. Oh, oh, Brandon, there's a prototype button. Once again, you all cannot see it because
hey,
I choose to only share one screen, a tab
but
rather.
it's there.
But it's there, and I clicked on it, and it's loading, and it's in Figma. Like I'm all about it. Some people don't like them. I know Brendan and myself, we really into like getting to see the prototype versus clicking and reading. So it's probably because of our education. Uh, so sorry, Brendan. I'm like sitting here dissing you for no reason, but I included myself in that.
But it's Friday. No.
All right, we just don't like to read. Uh,
It's true. And then like 2 years from now, we're gonna be like ChatGPT, read the portfolio.
oh,
So
for real, like ChatGPT is gonna be, we're gonna be all over that. All right. Man, this video, this person's went all out. Maybe just have the video play at like one x or 2x by default if you can, because I'm not sure there's like you're not talking over it, so I think 2x is probably fine. Just if you want people to actually get to it. Um, yeah, this is. All right, I'll keep scrolling and then I'll go back. Oh, okay. So the entire case study is just the video walkthrough. Okay, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But yeah, if that's gonna be it, I would just say like just play it at 2x if you can, so that way you can guarantee people will actually get to it all. Yeah, like I mean, like I have thoughts. Figma's not loading for me, by the way, so I can't really see it. But Brendan, I'll let you go first on this one.
Sure. I'm gonna pull it up on my end just so I can walk through it as well. Because I got some thoughts.
Yeah,
not like that.
I have thoughts, but I mean, we probably scared him. Like, you know, I'm sorry, I remember seeing your name and I was like, oh, I do not know how to pronounce it. So.
Is this? No, this is not Ethan's. This is.
No, this is.
Anatoly.
Wow, good on you.
All right, let me see. Did that pop up for me? Perfect. All right, let me bring that to my screen and. All right. Anatoly, let's see. So I love the cleanliness that you have just for your homepage. Nice homepage, about, resume. I just think this is really clean. And also just where you showcase your projects. We can get into it automatically. Just like you're already in the golden club. Just the fact that you have a nice mock-up in the beginning. You have what the project is, your role, the duration, and the best part, see the prototype. Yes, thank you. We love having this. Being able to jump into Figma, seeing all the how it works, and being like having this even before we talk about the videos that you have outlined for or provided for us later down in the case study is really awesome, just to be able to get a feel of how this platform works, just so we can get our digital hands around it. But I love the fact, like, this is when we talk about scannability, guys, this is a great example. Background, we know that this is the background. At least 5 million people we get like highlights of the important pieces of the background. Step 1, define and emphasize. We're going to be talking about the problem solution. We get to know that it's a website. But my eyes can scan from, I can basically do headline reading here. Kind of just like if someone reads about, if a headline has anything to do with Joe Rogan or just anybody, like just what is it, celebrity news in a headline, and just, some crazy factoid after it. People are like, oh, you hear the news, and they've only read the headline and not even the paragraph, and they feel like they're up to date on like what so and so did in wrong in the news today. But I just love how it goes biggest headline, biggest headline. What you I don't have to do a lot of reading because of how well, and this is an example of what I mean by how well the content is designed. It's not just it is a wall of text, but I get to pick what I'm reading. Headline, who's the customer, what are we solving, what is the frustration, what is the positive outcome. So it just helps me cognitively go through things, versus if everything was the same line, my ass would be reading the same line 3 to 4 or 5 times. And that does happen. I'm special, guys. Competitive analysis. All right, let me see. Next thing. I think this portfolio is really strong, and I really just like how everything is designed. Next steps, 3 things. Here are my takeaways, these things. So I can kind of just scroll down, hit a headline that I'm interested in knowing about this project, or how this person has approached their project, and be like, oh, okay, I just want to see the videos of the prototypes. Let me see what that just looks like. Let me see their takeaways. All right. Let me just go ahead and read this. So I think the biggest thing here, I think this is a really strong portfolio, just from a readability standpoint. The fact that they have a prototype and they even have a table of contents. The way that this is organized is awesome.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know if you need my approval, Brendan, but I agree.
I always need your approval.
See, so if I could jump in, like my only feedback and my only thing that I'm like, because usually I would say like, oh, you don't need to have like I mean, I'm still not a fan of personas, like, but that's just subjective. That's just a me thing. So I'm not even gonna get there because I think overall, like it's easy enough to read where I'm like, okay, the only feedback I have that I wish, like, because their videos are the only thing, like they're a little bit easy to like I could have easily missed them because as I'm scrolling too, like I didn't realize like okay, this are like the prototype. So the only thing I would say in here, if you could like make these things out more, like maybe change the background color in these, or like go black or whatever, like whatever makes sense, and then just have like, I don't know, maybe there might be some limitation on like coding and stuff like that, but I would just say make the videos like bigger, like actually bigger, or something to like really make you like stop and click, because I know you're using Vimeo and that's just the default setting. So like that's why I said this might just be some limitation in terms of like coding to get this thing, because I almost missed both of them when I was scrolling to, because in here these were
they look
images.
like photos.
Yeah, and then here, like as you scroll to, you're like, oh, okay. Like it's so easy to miss, and I think it's such an important part that I think if you just change the background color or do something a little bit different to make it stand out, like it might not be as easy to miss, or maybe change the headline, like why not go instead of test and iterate, like which is what you have here, which is this biggest one, but this is so much more important, like that, like this is more important than this that says number 3, like because this is the one you want people to see.
Right.
And also I would say maybe it's too low down the page. Maybe split these 2 case studies further up, I don't know, but it's a little bit farther on the page, even though the page is easy to navigate, even though it's a lot of copy, but it's easy to navigate, and I'm not even complaining about how much copy there is. So like I'm nitpicking, but I think overall like this is really strong. And usually I'm not a fan of like having like I always see these as like busy work just to make the portfolios to stretch it, but I think in your case they actually are doing something, or maybe they're not, but I'm not reading them, but they look cool enough that I'm like, cool, let me just get to the project. Right? So yeah, my only thing was that like I almost missed it just because it just kind of blended into the background. And I think the reason it's a white background for the video, it's on a white background, the only thing that stands out from it is there's this little black border, and it's just not enough for you to know like this is the key thing here. So that would be my only feedback, because when I click on and I had to go on another portfolio just to make sure, like, and you're doing it here, like you brought the black, so it's not like it's a foreign color to your portfolio, so you can do it, which to my point, like as I'm scrolling down, like this high contrast, like with the orange and the black background, it's like it's going to make you stop. You're going to take a second look. You're gonna do a double take, and I think that other one just needed that double take, like because I almost missed it. I love the little gift that you have to add your case studies. But yeah, that would be my only take. Like when you actually introducing those videos, just make them stand out. Like let the user know, okay, you're about to watch a video. This is the portfolio. They all prototype. There's no more. So that would be my only feedback on this one. Overall, great job. Okay, we are almost at time. I really thought this was gonna be shorter, but it's not.
No, it's all good, man. I can take the last one. But
no, I'll take a. I think this is the last one. I have enough time to do that one, and then I have to bounce.
All right.
Hola.
And while you take an initial glance at that, I do want to let everybody know that actually, Tonton, are you still your? I know we haven't talked in a while, but your wait list
Yes.
is first
Yes.
link down in the description.
Yes, and I was gonna give an announcement on that. Thank you for reminding me. Like, I don't like to self promote, honestly. Like
No.
this is not about that for me. But like the wait list is still going. It is going strong. It is almost full. So, and to the people that subscribe, they're like, I subscribe to this thing and I have not heard anything. Yeah, my bad. Um, like I have not sent an email. I haven't done anything, but it is getting to a point where like I'm going to probably close it soon, just because um, again, in order for me to do it the way I want to do it and give the best that I can, I want to give everyone the time that they need. So I don't want to have like too many people, right, so to speak. So it will be closing soon, but there's still some few spots open, and you will hear from me by the end of next week for sure. I'm going to send an email or something. Like I've been working on this thing. It just did too
We'll
many
send
things going on.
biscuits, guys. We'll send
Yeah,
biscuits.
we'll send you biscuits.
All right,
Yeah.
guys. If you're interested in that, link is down in the description. Time is limited, and we're not playing. Well, Tonton isn't.
Okay, let me get to this last one. Thanks for the plug, Brendan. Always appreciate it. I wasn't gonna do it myself, so. All right. Man, this is. Oh, look, it's an Apple TV. All right, go right at them. Okay, I feel like before I even dive into this, you probably already have an idea of what we're gonna say. So should I even go and say it?
The wall of text.
The wall of text. Again, like I think there's nothing wrong with having detailed descriptions of what you did and what you want to accomplish, but like just like at the portfolio we looked at before, they probably had the same amount of text, if not more. But it's just the way you display it, the way you organize the content, just has a way of making it feel not as long. Things I would say pay attention to, like in terms of like just purely from a design perspective, you probably want to have like a width limit on your text. Like it's a very long line, like it's very tiresome, and because there's a lot of it, like it's gonna be really hard for a user to track. I don't want to throw numbers because like I don't design based on random numbers. Like I don't be like keep it at 600. That's not it. But like you do want to keep it at a width that just feels like the user shouldn't have to move the head to be able to go to the next line. The moment they're doing, like it's like essentially it's like me when I'm playing golf. Like it's army golf, right? Left, right, left. I'm hitting trees left and right. So you don't want to do that. You don't want the user doing that with the head. Like there's going to be more golf examples as we scroll, because I had a terrible game. Oh, I can't click on any of these images. Oh, sad face. Like the images look great, but I can't click on them. I need to be able to click and really dive and be able to see the work that you did and really take in the all your effort. Like they're not paying off because I can't click on them. You do have a prototype link, which is great. The only part that's using XD. I'm joking. I'm joking. Like Brendan's gonna be like, bro, like I'm an XD ambassador. Yeah, I would say like since you have a prototype link, and I would just move it further up. Like just move it further up. Like I love the strong images. It visually looks really nice. I would break down the wall of text a little bit if you can. Move that prototype like up, and if you're going to put these images up, just make them so I can click on them to be able to zoom in and really take it in. But you have a prototype, so I'm also cool with that. And it looks, yeah, it looks fantastic. I just wish I could see it in the images that you have, and no one can see my screen right now. But if you watching this live, like I would say, go click on those links. Like click on that prototype. It's really awesome. And he has a nice picture of a golf course. So I'm gonna spend like 3 minutes looking at that. Yeah, the prototype is smooth. Like it's really nicely done. You put in so much work into this. Like, just make the images, like, if you're gonna include the images, just make them so I can click on them to really just zoom in and take everything in. But overall, the case study looks like, the design itself is really nice. Nicely done, man. Person. But yeah, that's my only feedback on this one. Like, move the prototype link further up, because organize the content. I would say look to that last one we looked at, like, and see how they, like, maybe you bring little things in. Maybe it's like you don't have to use emojis to organize the content. Like, you just break it down into smaller chunks, more easy to digest, and then you should be fine. Like, you probably can get rid of, like, honestly, like, you can probably get rid of this. Like, I understand why you add it. I never see them. I don't ever think they add anything, but again, this is a personal thing. I would probably say get rid of it. It's so small, I can't see it. It's so tiny. It's not really adding anything. Where these are doing a much better job. So just move them further up and make them bigger, make them clickable or something, and then move the prototype button further up. But overall, really, really nice page. I really like your case study, like, I mean, your portfolio, like, it's clean. All right, that is all she wrote for me. I do have to, unfortunately, got to jump. I usually try to stay a little bit behind, but I can't today because I have so many things to do. I'm so sorry.
It's all good. Well, hey, listen, thank you so much, Jaslin, for the covering of the 3-4 portfolios. Thanks for always hanging out. And guys, remember, first link down in the description, sign up for his wait list. All right? Mentors, we're trying to figure out one-on-ones or group sessions for him. And I
do have some notes on that. Okay. So it seems like most people did, there was a survey and most people did sign up for one-on-one. So what that entails, on this one-on-one session, it's not just going to be, hey, here's a video of me, go and do that, but it was actually going to be a chance for us to do design together, or where you ask me questions and I answer, or we don't have to design. It's an hour that it's your time. You can choose how you use it. We can talk about design. We can talk about career path. We can talk about, like, we can do mock interview. We can talk about, like, how to apply to certain position at certain companies. Like, it's really just an open-ended thing where I'm gonna do my best to really, like, if you bring some work, we're gonna actually sit down, give feedback, how to be, constructive feedback, and how to take feedback and how to apply that, and how to make, and maybe even teach you some trick and, like, in your favorite tools. Like, I'm not really a huge person on, like, in terms of tools. I think, like, all tools are means to an end, so I focus more on design principle than learning a tool to its end. But I know some tricks that you might find helpful. So so the whole idea of, like, this one-on-one sessions is actually one-on-one with me, and you have my time and we get to talk about anything. Well, keep it design related preferably, but anything is on the table.
No golfing, guys. It's off the table.
That would be, we'll need more than an hour.
All right, beautiful. So, guys, that's it. Tonton, I'll see you later. Have an amazing rest of your Friday. And for everybody else, we'll stay here to to go through who is our survey winner. All right, so let me go to my screen here. Let me see. Can I just share my screen? Let's see how this works. I was not prepared for this portion. Well, actually, let me see if this works. All right, perfect. All right, sweet. I can just do my screen. All right. So first off, I want to say thank you to Patricia, Sam, Ethan, and who else did their portfolio? I think it was Patricia. I believe Anatoly. Thank you guys for sharing your portfolios. All right. So let's dive into, so we had over 55 entries, or just 55 entries for our survey. So let's spin this wheel and let's see who actually is the winner for the $100 Amazon gift card. So let's see. All right, I'm not even gonna lie to you, I have no idea. Hope to God that this is a real person. Let's hope they didn't put a fake email for the survey. But I will have to email this person, get a name, and get their Discord username so that I can actually mention them in the Discord. So this will go into our announcements today. I will send them an email today to let you guys, or to let them know who's the winner. And once I get their first name and last name and their username on Discord, I will let and announce this in the Discord. But other than that, ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys for joining today's portfolio review with Jaslin Tonton. I just want to let you guys know this month of April has been super slow with our community events because we have been trying to put together there's a lot of stuff happening in behind the scenes. A lot of things with the challenges, a lot of things with just the community in general. We are launching a new community website. There's a lot going on, and I just appreciate your guys' patience. One thing I did want to share with you guys before we leave today, if you haven't already, in our Discord, we are trying to release the challenge for May. And if you go into our server polls channel in our Discord, I'll put the link in the description, or not in the description, in the chat here. Tahir says must be rigged. No, you get out of here, dude. If it's not a real person, we will actually re-roll, and I'll do it. There's a plugin that we can actually put into Discord so you guys can see who actually wins. But if you guys would be so kind, if you guys are joining the May Design Challenge, we have about 6 themes. One is restaurant theme, travel theme, health, music, social media, and ChatGPT related. So far, restaurant is in the lead for our May challenge. But if you guys want to go ahead and select what you would rather do for our next month challenge, just please pick which one you want in our poll, and we will make sure that will be the theme for the month of May. All right, guys. So JT, Patricia, Tahir, Sam, and Ethan, thank you guys for hanging out. And Jaywalk, Alana, appreciate you guys. And everybody else who stopped by, thank you guys for hanging out. And I will see you guys next week in our Discord. All right, guys, have an amazing Friday, and I will see you later. Peace. Thank you so much for watching and tuning into this episode of Real Talk, brought to you by Groce, the world's most powerful no-code web design platform for designers and creatives alike. If you want to watch more amazing videos like this, check out our playlist down in the description with all of our Real Talk episodes, including other educational videos like Editor X tutorials. And also, do not forget to subscribe, hit the bell notification so you get notified each week when we go live, and of course, if you feel so inclined, don't forget to smash the like button because it helps us reach more creatives like yourself each and every day. With that said, I hope you guys have an amazing rest of your day, and I hope to see you guys on the next one. With that said, Brandon Groce, out.